Today on October 11, Archangel Michael is standing outside your spiritual door right now. But few will hear his knock. This message is for the ones who will. October 11 is not just another page in the calendar. In the realm of the spirit, this day pulses with divine vibration, a day of holy visitation, a day when eternity presses against the edge of time. On this very date, Archangel Michael, the chief warrior of heaven, the defender of light, hath been dispatched with heavenly instruction. He stands now, not far off in some celestial vision, but right outside the spiritual threshold of the chosen. Not all will sense him. Not all will feel the weight of his presence. But to the sensitive, to the ones attuned, the knock is unmistakable. This knock is not made with hand or fist. It does not echo through wood and stone. It reverberates through the atmosphere, through the soul, through the quieted heart. It comes as a vibration, a pull in the spirit, a stirring in the night, a heaviness that feels like divine weight. Many will mistake it for tiredness. Many will drown it out with distraction. Many will scroll past it, sleep through it, or resist it. But the few will hear. The few will pause. The few will know that today is not normal. Today, something eternal is standing just outside their door. Hear this clearly. This is a selective moment. It is not open to all. This is not a broadcast into the world. It is a whisper to the remnant. It is a heavenly summons reserved for those whose ears are still trained to the rhythm of the throne room. The knock will not be loud. It will be low, and only those bowed low enough in spirit will perceive it. The prideful will miss it. The distracted will deny it. The skeptical will scoff. But those who are humble, those who are still, those who are watching with eyes turned upward, they will rise. There is a divine urgency in this hour. A window is being opened, but it will not remain open. The visitation is time-bound. The knock will not last forever. Michael waits, but not indefinitely. Heaven is observing who responds. The timeline is moving, and those who delay may forfeit their moment. This message is not a warning of fear. It is an invitation to awareness. But the invitation has an expiration. The Spirit is saying, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear," and respond swiftly. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. In this very hour, heaven leans close. Right now, as your eyes read and your spirit awakens, the veil is thin. The heavens have leaned into the earth's atmosphere with divine intensity. The hour is not random. It has been divinely scheduled. The realms above are shifting. The angelic hosts are positioning. And Archangel Michael, God's appointed defender, stands outside your spiritual door. His presence is not metaphor. It is not poetry. It is not symbolic. It is literal in the unseen. And right now, right here, you are standing in a moment where heaven is closer than your breath. Michael, the commander of heavenly armies, the one who cast down the dragon, the one who wages war in the high places, is not stationed in the distance. He is positioned at your threshold, between what was and what is about to be, between who you were and who you are becoming, between the chaos of this world and the calling of your soul. He stands not as a visitor, but as an answer, not as a mere observer, but as a shield, not just with a message, but with a mission, and that mission is connected to you. This is not a moment for casual hearts or distracted minds. This is not a message to entertain. It is a word to awaken. The spiritual atmosphere has shifted, and if you are sensitive, you've already felt it. Restlessness, Sudden waves of emotion. A strange heaviness followed by flashes of clarity. That's not just life. That's war. That's divine stirring. That's the sound of swords being drawn in the spirit. Unseen warfare is intensifying, and while the world sleeps, the watchmen are being summoned. Let it be known, this message is not sent for those who are curious. This message is sent for those who are called, those who have felt the weight in their chest and the tremble in their prayers, those who have looked at the world and known, something is shifting, and I must be ready. If you are reading this and your spirit is alert, then this word is for you. But be warned, this word will not allow you to stay the same. It will demand a response. There is divine tension in the air. A door is about to open in the unseen, and by midnight, decisions will be sealed. Who among you will be awake when the door swings open? Who among you will be found watching, waiting, weeping between the porch and the altar? Who among you will respond with surrender instead of delay? You are not reading by accident. You are not listening by mistake. You were marked to hear this. Archangel Michael doth not stand in vain. His presence signals not only protection but a divine turning point. And I speak by the authority of the Most High when I say, this message is not of human origin. It is not emotionalism. It is not manipulation. It is a holy dispatch, a decree from the courts of heaven for the elect, for the awakened, for the chosen. So still your heart. Silence the noise. The ground you are standing on is sacred now. The presence that moves toward you is not soft, it is mighty. The angel who knocks carries fire in his eyes and strategy in his hands. But he will not force his way in. He knocks, but you must open. And before this day ends, a decision must be made. Will you hear the knock or will you remain asleep? Type I open the door in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7711 is now activated. There has been a strange stillness in your life lately, hasn't there? A quiet that feels deeper than silence. A pause that no one else seems to notice, yet it lingers around you like a shadow that will not lift. You've wondered if it was weariness, perhaps even spiritual fatigue. But hear me now. It is not depression. It is divine disruption. It is not weakness. It is a prophetic stilling. It is the hush before heaven breaks in. For many of you, this quietness has felt unnatural. You sat in rooms filled with people and still felt distant. You smiled, but something inside you would not laugh. You've been surrounded, yet alone. And that aloneness is not punishment. It is preservation. You are being hidden, tucked away, separated, because what is forming inside you is not for public display. It is sacred. It is fragile. And it is about to emerge. Michael's arrival always stirs the atmosphere. His presence is disruptive to the carnal and deeply comforting to the consecrated. That is why the people around you have started acting strange. People you once trusted now feel unpredictable. Conversations feel hollow. Friendships feel strained. You've sensed betrayal in glances, felt tension without words. Let me explain it to you. The presence of glory on your life makes counterfeit alignments tremble. They don't know why they are uneasy around you, but their spirit senses that heaven is near you, and they are not aligned with it. You are not being paranoid. You are being purified. Some of you have recently experienced sudden disconnections, unexplainable distance from people who once claimed to understand you. But what you must understand is this: your elevation requires exposure. Not all who clap for you are covenant. Not all who smile toward you carry sincerity. Archangel Michael has stepped in not just to defend you from outward attack, but to dismantle what was pretending to be for you while secretly draining your light. Yes, the misunderstandings have increased. Yes, the accusations have come. Yes, the isolation has felt unbearable at times. But your silence has been heaven's filter. God has used your stillness to test motives, to reveal hidden agendas, to allow the false to fall away without a fight. You wanted to speak up. You wanted to defend yourself. But heaven whispered, "Be still." And in that stillness, the true from the false began to separate. Michael's presence brings with it a sword of dividing, a sword of truth. He is not only a protector but a revealer. He guards the doors of destiny by ensuring only what is pure can cross through. That's why this strange emotional heaviness has sat on you like a cloud, because something inside you is being refined, and everything around you is being weighed. The ones who misunderstand you now are simply not meant to walk with you into what's next. Let go of the need to explain. Let go of the desire to be validated by the wrong voices. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are being transformed in the quiet. While others are busy proving, you are being pruned. While others are performing, you are being positioned. While others are posturing, heaven is postmarking your name on a divine scroll. You feel this isolation because your call is uncommon, and uncommon destinies require uncommon quietness. The disruption you feel is not destruction. It is calibration. It is the sound of heaven adjusting the frequencies in your life so you can hear more clearly, so you can sense more sharply, so you can walk with divine accuracy. This is not a breakdown. This is a build-up. You are not being undone. You are being remade. Your silence has been heaven's filter. And now, the sifting is almost complete. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. If this word is resonating in your spirit, if you feel heaven knocking and the sword of Michael moving in your life, this is your moment to respond, not just with faith, but with fire. Every seed you sow into this mission helps carry the flame of revelation into hearts across the world. This isn't about supporting a platform. This is about advancing the kingdom. As you give, know this: you're releasing oil into the atmosphere, oil that breaks yokes and waters dry places. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed, says the Lord, and that promise is alive now. I hear the Spirit say, your giving is not natural, it is prophetic. The link to support through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or PayPal is in the description below. Let your seed speak on your behalf. Let your obedience open the heavens. Release your offering, and watch heaven release yours. So now, be blessed, be multiplied, be moved. Listen closely. What you are facing right now is not random. The unrest, the inner turmoil, the external chaos, the relationships collapsing, the pressure that won't lift, the storm that won't stop. This is not just life testing you. This is the spirit realm watching you. The confusion is not failure, it is framing. Heaven is allowing tension, not to crush you, but to clarify you. The conflict in your life is not a punishment. It is a prophetic proving ground. Archangel Michael does not arrive where there is no war. His assignment is divine enforcement. He doesn't come where things are comfortable. He comes where the call is under siege. If he is standing outside your spiritual door, it means there is an invisible battle swirling around you. You may not have seen it, but you felt it. The atmosphere hath been heavier. The sleep hath been restless. The voices around you have grown louder. and the clarity inside you has seemed to waver. But I tell you again, this is not confusion. This is a spiritual testing. You are being observed, watched not only by people but by the watchers of heaven. Every reaction, every decision, every whispered prayer, every surrendered moment is being measured. Heaven does not test to shame, it tests to confirm. The pressure is not to break you but to reveal who you truly are under divine scrutiny. You are being called to rise above the surface level of understanding. This is not a natural crisis. This is spiritual resistance before supernatural release. Let me make this clear. The chaos around you is confirmation of your calling. The warfare is not a sign that you're in the wrong place. It is a sign that you're standing at the threshold of something right, something righteous, something rare. Before the blessing comes the battle. Before the anointing flows, the adversary rises. Before the door opens, every force of hell will try to distract you from even recognizing it's there. Do not waste your strength on surface fights. Do not try to fix with flesh what is shaking in the spirit. This is not the time for carnal reactions. This is not the season for emotional outbursts. What is happening to you is bigger than the people involved, bigger than the conflict, bigger than your fear. What is happening is that the sword of Michael is now moving to separate truth from deception, to sever soul from spirit, to expose every impure motive that was wrapped in fake loyalty. The ones who are walking away were never walking with you in the spirit. The resources that dried up were never sent to sustain your next. The voices that turned against you were never aligned with your future. And now, heaven is removing the veil. The scales are falling. The Spirit of God is bringing justice by revelation, not to destroy you but to deliver you. You thought you were losing control. But the truth is, heaven is taking over. Where your strength ends, God's order begins. Where your plan crumbles, God's design emerges. What looked like rejection is actually divine redirection. What felt like collapse is the construction of a higher purpose. His shaking isn't to weaken your footing. It's to anchor your roots deeper into the truth. Michael's sword is swinging not just for war but for wisdom. To cut away confusion. To sever every soul tied to what kept you distracted. To strip off the garments of people-pleasing, overthinking, and spiritual numbness. And if you allow him, if you yield, that same sword will also guard your next season with holy fire. You are not being forsaken. You are being focused. You are not being cast out. You are being carved into shape. You are not falling apart. You are falling into alignment. This is heaven's hand, refining you in the fire, not to burn you, but to brand you with glory. Do not fight in the flesh what is happening in the spirit. Let Michael separate what cannot go where you're headed. Type "I choose heaven's plan" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 2024 is now resting on your life. Hear me in the spirit. The hour has tipped. The moment is no longer pending. It is upon us. There is a rumble in the unseen, a movement behind the veil, a gathering of forces both divine and demonic. A confrontation is approaching. And whether you sense it in your soul or not, the atmosphere around your life is being reordered, violently, deliberately, urgently. The enemy has sensed the turning of the tide in your favor, and he has begun to retaliate in silence, in systems, in shadows. But heaven is not silent. Archangel Michael has not only drawn near, he has unsheathed his sword. This is your divine warning. You are standing in the narrow place between preparation and performance, between obedience and opposition, between delay and decision. And now, the countdown has begun. In the spirit, A 72-hour window has opened, a holy sequence of divine moments. Heaven has set a clock that man cannot see. By the third sunrise from this very moment, a choice will be demanded. Not just a self-decision, not just a mental agreement, but a move, a pivot, a step that aligns your life with divine command and not personal comfort. Something is moving against divine order, and it's close. For some, it will come in the form of a person. For others, it will be a subtle invitation to compromise, to entertain old habits, to accept familiar bondage as if it were freedom. For some, it will be pressure to settle, to sign what God did not authorize, to say yes to something you should have said no to. But I must speak this clearly. What you do in the next 72 hours will set the course for the next 7 months. Your obedience will determine your protection. Your positioning will determine your provision. The pressure you feel right now is not just life overwhelming you. It is heaven rearranging your atmosphere. It is divine alignment, even when it looks like divine aggression. It's why things are falling apart, why people are revealing their true colors, why resources are shifting, and why familiar places no longer feel like home. The spiritual scaffolding is coming down, and the structure of your next season is being erected in the realm of the unseen. This moment is not passive, it's prophetic. You are being called to respond with posture, not panic. You are being called to stay calm in the face of spiritual conflict. Why? Because heaven is watching to see if you will trust what you cannot trace. Because the armies of the Lord have encircled you, not to entertain you, but to protect a decision that will define your future. Someone is plotting. Something is brewing. But so is heaven. So is glory. So is deliverance. And God is allowing you to feel the weight of this moment so you do not treat it casually. There is too much at stake to ignore the signs. There is too much assigned to your name for you to sleep through the sound of this spiritual trumpet. Do not confuse comfort for peace. What may feel easier in the next few days may also be the bait to derail you. The adversary does not always come roaring. Sometimes he comes reasoning. You will say it's not that serious. You will say, it's just a small step off the path. You will say, God will understand. But let this serve as a warning. Not all small steps are harmless. Some lead off cliffs. Some delay destinies. Some sever angels from their assignment in your life. You are not crazy to feel the urgency. You are not wrong to feel the pressure. The shaking is not your imagination. The confrontation is near. But you are not alone. You are not vulnerable. You are not unguarded. Michael stands outside your door for a reason. He has come to intercept what was sent to derail you. But he will not act apart from your obedience. In the next 72 hours, what you do in silence will echo loudly in eternity. Heaven is watching. Choose well. Type "I will obey" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3333 has now been dispatched over your timeline. Be still. That is not a suggestion. It is a divine command. It is not passive, it is strategy. In this hour of intense spiritual pressure, when the noise around you screams for reaction and the weight within you cries out for release, heaven is whispering, be still. Why? Because the war that rages is no longer in your hands. It has ascended. A battle has shifted above your head. The decisions are no longer yours to fight through logic, arguments, or emotion. This war belonged to the Lord. And Michael, heaven's chief defender, has been deployed to handle what is beyond your human reach. You must hear this. Movement right now could cost you momentum. Fleshly action can cause spiritual delays. You are being protected, but only if you remain under the covering. Stillness is not inactivity. It is alignment. It is obedience. It is trust. Your silence is not weakness. It is warfare. When you choose stillness, you surrender the outcome to the one who cannot fail. When you quiet your flesh, your spirit begins to hear again. And when your spirit hears, you walk in clarity, not confusion. Michael moves when you stop moving. When you surrender control, the armies of heaven are released in full force. This is why the pressure has grown. This is why you felt the urge to take matters into your own hands. This is why the voices of fear have tried to convince you that silence equals defeat. But the Spirit of the Lord says, victory belongs to the silent ones who stand in surrender. Those who try to fix this moment in their own strength will miss the divine intervention that has already been scheduled. Go inward. Retreat into the presence. Find the altar in your spirit again. Set aside time for no other purpose but to listen. Not to plead. Not to plan. But to wait. For in the quiet, heaven speaks. And when heaven speaks, confusion scatters. When you stop reacting, the angels start responding. Michael does not respond to panic. He responds to divine protocol. Heaven moves at the sound of obedience, not anxiety. Cover yourself now with declarations. Speak over your mind. Declare over your body. Prophecy over your path. Say it with your mouth until your atmosphere shifts. I am covered. I am chosen. Heaven defends me. Say it until the lies break. Say it until the fear lifts. Say it until your spirit aligns again. This is not about pretending you are strong. It is about knowing who fights for you. The greatest threat to your protection in this hour is distraction. The enemy does not need to destroy you if he can divide your attention. Stay focused. Stay hidden. Not because you're afraid, but because you are under divine instruction. Those who abide under the shadow of the Almighty will dwell in safety. But you must abide. You must dwell. You must stay where the covering is. Let the Spirit be your compass. Let peace be your armor. Let stillness be your shield. You do not need to prove anything in this hour. You only need to remain positioned. The battle is not yours, but the Lord's, and Michael stands watch over those who stay in divine alignment. You will not lose. He has never lost. But your role is to remain within the boundaries heaven has set for you in this moment. That boundary is silence. That boundary is surrender. That boundary is trust. So I say again, with all urgency and all love, be still. Say less. Pray more. React less. Listen deeper. Do not fear the quiet. It is your protection. It is your strength. It is your proving ground. Type I am covered in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 4848 is now surrounding your house and mind. Now the silence begins to speak. The stillness that once felt suffocating now begins to breathe strength into your soul. Something within you is rising, not from pride, not from rebellion, but from divine recognition. You are realizing who you are in the kingdom. You are remembering the authority that has always been yours but was hidden beneath the weight of warfare. You have walked through fire, through confusion, through betrayal, and through the deep silence of heaven. And yet, here you stand. You are not the same one who was attacked. You have evolved in silence. What was meant to break you has built you into a fortress. Can you feel it? A shift in your spirit. The heaviness that once held you down has become the foundation beneath your feet. The ashes of old battles are now the soil for your next victory. Every wound has turned into wisdom. Every tear has watered a new strength. You are no longer waiting to be rescued. You are awakening as a rescuer. You are no longer pleading for light. You are learning to command it. The fire that once burned you now bows to you. The storm that once terrified you now recognizes your authority. You are no longer a victim of warfare. You are a vessel of power. Michael, who once stood outside your spiritual door, now stands beside you, his sword drawn, his gaze firm. But something has changed. You are no longer hiding behind him. You are standing with him. You are not merely defended by light. You are emanating it. The same glory that guarded you is now flowing through you. Your voice carries weight in the spirit realm. Your prayers are not whispers. They are decrees. Your silence was never weakness. It was a cocoon where your wings grew. And now those wings are unfolding. This transformation did not happen in public. It happened in the secret place, in the moments where you wanted to quit but chose to trust instead. Heaven recorded those moments, every sigh, every surrender, every quiet decision to remain faithful when no one was watching. And now, the reward of that hidden obedience is authority. The kind that cannot be faked. The kind that cannot be bought. The kind that hell recognizes and heaven honors. The time for shrinking back is over. The season of doubting your anointing is ending. You have been refined by resistance. You have been trained in tears. You have been prepared in obscurity. And now the Spirit says, rise. The one who once hid in fear will now walk in fire. The one who once begged for confirmation will now speak with conviction. The one who once endured silent battles will now carry public victory. You are not stepping into a new level. You are stepping into your rightful dimension. The authority you carry is not borrowed. It is birthed. It came through endurance, through surrender, through the relentless grace of God that would not let you give up. You see now. You were never abandoned. You were being anointed. You were never forgotten. You were being fortified. You were never overlooked. You were being ordained. So declare it boldly. I am not who I was. I am a vessel of light. I am covered by fire. I am chosen to command. Let those words be your mantle. Let that truth echo through your atmosphere. You no longer wait for permission to walk in power. Heaven has already approved you. And the same Archangel Michael who stood outside your door is now your companion in battle, not because you are weak, but because you are now trusted. This is your turning point. This is your rise. This is the moment where heaven looks at you and calls you ready. Type I rise in power in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 9292 is now activated in your spirit. Now hear this. The revelation comes like lightning. Sudden. Piercing. Unavoidable. Archangel Michael did not appear at your spiritual threshold without cause. He did not knock merely for drama. He was dispatched to announce something from the throne of God. And what he brings is not just protection. It is declaration. He comes to reveal what has been hidden in mystery, buried beneath delay, clouded by warfare. You are standing before a door that is not made of wood. It is a gate of destiny. This is not symbolic. It is spiritual reality. You have arrived at the threshold of divine unlocking. You are not circling the wilderness anymore. You are not wandering through delay. You are at the very point where purpose meets timing, and the pressure you've endured has been the squeezing of heaven preparing the seal to be broken. This door is not like others. It will not open by charisma. It will not respond to manipulation. It will not yield to ambition. This door only responds to purity, to obedience, and to heaven's timing. Michael has come to make sure the gate swings open only for the loyal, only for the true, only for the ones who passed the secret tests, the ones no one applauded, no one saw, and no one celebrated. You have been under divine audit. Your life, your motives, your thoughts, your relationships, your endurance, they have all been measured in the courts of light. And now the report has been sealed, and heaven is whispering your name in the halls of glory. Yes, you, the one who thought you were forgotten, the one who wondered if it was all in vain, the one who considered quitting more times than you can count. You passed the test, not by perfection, but by persistence, not by strength, but by surrender. You have been found faithful, and now Michael's presence is the heavenly signal that a new realm of authority is being opened. Not just opportunities, inheritance. You are about to walk in blessings that cannot be explained, favor that cannot be earned, protection that doesn't make sense, alignment that clicks into place suddenly. These are not rewards for public victories. They are the honor given to those who remained faithful in private pain. The doors that are opening were not forged on earth. They were spoken into existence by God before you were born, waiting for the day you would mature enough to handle them. Let this settle in your spirit. Your name has been whispered in the halls of light. Here is a sound in heaven that now surrounds you. A recognition, a readiness, a release. Michael did not knock to beg for your attention. He knocked because your moment has come. But you must respond. You must walk through the door not with fear, but with faith. Not with shame, but with boldness. The trials were not punishment. They were preparation. And now, the door has been unlocked. Blessing is coming. Promotion is coming. But with it, responsibility. With it, assignment. You are not being elevated just for personal comfort. You are being commissioned. You are being handed spiritual keys. And the gates you now walk through will become gates you protect for others. You are now not just the healed. You are the healer. Not just the found, but the guide for others. Not just the covered, but the carrier of covering. So rise with reverence. Walk with wonder. This is a holy moment. Michael has done his part. The gates are opening, and all of heaven leans in to see what you will do with the invitation. Type "I receive the revelation" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 8844 is now opening your gate of inheritance. Just as this revelation breaks forth in your spirit, you have a chance right now to step into a prophetic act, not just of hearing the word, but partnering with it. When you sow into this kind of message, you're not giving to a voice. You're sowing into the gates of someone else's breakthrough. You're helping carry light into dark places and awakening those who have yet to hear their name whispered in the halls of heaven. This is your opportunity to let your giving speak with fire. Like oil poured on the altar, your gift becomes part of the message, and the message becomes a movement. As you bless this prophetic mission, the Lord says, "I will bless your house with angelic defense and divine acceleration." You can give right now through YouTube Super Thanks, membership, or via PayPal. The link is in the description below. Don't delay. Let your seed match your revelation. Release it. Speak it. Seal it. The gates are open. Sow into what you just received. Now that the door has been revealed, now that the whisper has come, now that heaven has confirmed what you always suspected in your spirit, the next step is no longer waiting. It is activation. This is the part where destiny demands your agreement. This is where the invitation turns into instruction. The realm of potential is behind you. The realm of purpose stands before you. But heaven waits for something only you can give: your yes. This is not the season for passive prayers. This is not the time for delayed obedience. The call on your life had been reignited, and now you are being summoned forward. Your obedience is not just for your own advancement. It is the key that will unlock the deliverance of others tied to your assignment. Heaven is waiting on your yes, not your perfect understanding, not your flawless performance. Yes, your yes. Every delay until this point was divinely allowed. Every closed door was heaven's timing. But now, something has shifted. The weight you felt is not confusion. It's the pressure of the door swinging open. The urgency is not anxiety. It's the rhythm of your name being called in the courts of heaven. The resistance has been the enemy's last attempt to distract you before you step through the gate that shifts generations. The Spirit of God is not asking you to be fearless. He is asking you to be willing. He is not requiring perfection. He is requiring participation. When you say yes to this new season, you are not just stepping forward. You are stepping into a covenant moment, one written before time, sealed with fire, and guarded by angels. Archangel Michael does not show up without reason. His presence is the announcement of divine movement, and now you are called to move with heaven. Speak it now, out loud, with authority. Yes, Lord. I step through the door. I align. I obey. I surrender. This is not emotional language. It is legal language in the Spirit. It is the verbal agreement that gives heaven permission to release the next sequence of events in your favor. Nothing in the kingdom moves without alignment. Nothing breaks open without agreement. Your yes is not weak. It is a weapon. Now move forward. Rise with clarity. Do what you delayed. Say what you've been holding back. Create what's been burning inside of you, and what no longer fits the assignment. Begin what God hath been preparing. This is the moment. This is the door. And Michael stands behind you, sword drawn, as the guardian of your decision. He will not push you, because God honors free will, but he will defend your obedience once it begins. The reigniting has already started. You feel it. The weariness is lifting. The fog is clearing. The fire is returning. That is not your adrenaline. That is your anointing waking up. You are remembering who you are. You are reclaiming what was stolen. You are being reintroduced to the heaven-backed version of yourself, bold, focused, surrendered, and equipped. This is not the time to retreat. This is not the hour to hesitate. This is your command moment. Reignite your faith. Rekindle your fire. Step into the fullness of your destiny. The shaking was the signal. The silence was the sifting. The sword was the separation. And now, the door is the declaration. Michael guards your way. The heavens have cleared your path. The time for delay is over. Now, type I step through the door in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7770 is now activated over your decision and your direction. There are moments in the spiritual realm when nothing appears to move, but everything is shifting. This is one of those moments. Do not be deceived by the quiet. Do not assume that the silence means nothing is happening. In fact, heaven is now moving in ways your natural eyes cannot perceive. You have stepped through the threshold, and what is unfolding now is not loud, not obvious, not even understandable. It is divine transaction. A silent exchange in the spirit realm has begun. While you sleep, heaven speaks. While you weep, heaven records. While you wait in stillness, angels war in secrecy. Do not underestimate the warfare that happens behind the veil. Just because you don't see it does not mean it isn't real. In this very hour, contracts in the spirit are being torn up. Assignments from hell are being revoked. Words spoken in darkness are being reversed. The curses spoken behind your back are being scattered in light. And Michael stands watch over every exchange, sword in hand, ensuring that nothing the enemy stole remains in his possession any longer. There are things that belong to you, mantles, moments, movements, that were delayed because of interference, ignorance, or sabotage. And now, the Spirit of God is orchestrating a recovery so thorough, so divine, that it will seem as if nothing was ever lost. The years you thought wasted, the relationships that broke you, the opportunities that slipped through your fingers, none of it was truly lost. It was stored. It was guarded. And now it is being returned in divine order, piece by piece, scroll by scroll, name by name. But this transaction is sacred. It cannot be rushed. It cannot be seen by those who demand proof. It is only perceived by those who walk in trust. Here's a reason you felt restless in the last few days. A reason you've been waking up in the night, feeling like something is near. That is not anxiety. That is the signal of heavenly movement. When your spirit begins to stir for no reason, it's often because the reason is unfolding in another realm. Let it settle deeply in you now. Heaven owes you nothing, and yet heaven is paying you back. Not because of your merit, but because of your posture. Because you stayed when others walked away. Because you chose surrender instead of bitterness. Because you closed doors when it would have been easier to stay comfortable. Because you obeyed the whisper when no one else heard it. That obedience has now triggered a spiritual reclaiming. And every piece of your life that was scattered in warfare is being drawn back under heaven's jurisdiction. You are not being restored to where you were. You are being promoted to where you were always meant to be. The exchange is not equal. It is overflowing. It is pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And the silence you feel now, that is heaven doing holy work. That is the angelic council securing what is yours. That is Michael standing in position until the last piece is returned, the last tear redeemed, the last chain shattered. Do not break the stillness with doubt. Do not interrupt the exchange with anxiety. Wait in worship. Stay in posture. The winds will shift again soon, and when they do, you will emerge into a reality that feels unfamiliar, but is entirely your own. A life that was always promised, but now fully possessed. Because this time, you didn't just pray, you obeyed. You didn't just hope, you stepped. You didn't just survive, you surrendered. Michael stands watch until the exchange is complete, and heaven will not fail to finish what it started. Type "I claim my exchange" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 6655 is now covering your restoration. Let every spirit hear this clearly. Justice has begun. Not the kind man delivers, not the kind that fades with time, but the kind only the courts of heaven can issue. This is the hour where the scales are being balanced. This is the moment where everything they tried to bury you with is being turned into the very soil that grows your future. You thought you were forgotten. You thought you were passed over. You thought the betrayal, the slander, the loss, the silence would never be answered. But God saw it all, and heaven does not forget. Every false accusation, Every word curse, every trap they set, every scheme they launched in shadows. Heaven recorded it, not to entertain judgment, but to ensure justice. And now that justice is unfolding, what they meant for your fall is becoming the foundation of your rise. What they tried to steal is returning with interest. What they mocked you for will become the very thing that marks your authority. God is flipping the script, and Archangel Michael is enforcing the reversal. They laughed when you cried. They dismissed your pain. They twisted your intentions. And yet you kept your mouth closed. You didn't defend yourself in the flesh because your spirit knew the defender of heaven would do what no argument could. That restraint was not weakness, it was wisdom. Your silence became your sword. Your patience became your courtroom. And now, the judge has ruled in your favor. Do not seek revenge. It's already been handled. Divine reversal is not about payback, it's about placement. You're not being lifted just to prove them wrong. You're being lifted because you were right where God asked you to be when it hurt the most. That level of obedience has weight in the spirit. And now, the doors that were once blocked are opening without resistance. The favor that was once withheld is flowing without delay. The people who once ignored you are being compelled to honor you, not by force, but by divine arrangement. Every lie they spoke is now a stepping stone. Every season of lack is now producing legacy. You are not being rewarded with revenge. You are being repaid in peace. Heaven's justice looks like clarity. It looks like order. It looks like favor that doesn't make sense and doors you didn't even know existed swinging wide before you. You are not going back to recover. God is launching you forward with recovery wrapped in your movement. Let it be known in the realm of the Spirit. What was meant to diminish you is now the fuel for your dominion. What once weakened your voice has become the wind behind your roar. What tried to silence you has now set the stage for your sound to be heard. Not because you fought harder, but because you trusted deeper. Not because you shouted louder, but because you obeyed when it cost you everything. And Michael, he is not just standing at your door anymore. He is now clearing the way forward, removing the residue of betrayal, burning down the altars built to stop you, cutting off the spiritual leeches that drain your strength. You will walk freely. You will speak boldly. You will rise fully. The reversal has already started, and there is nothing hell can do to stop it. You are not who you were, and they cannot treat you like they did. The throne room has ruled in your favor. The enemy is being forced to return what was taken. The mockers are being silenced. The watchers are being exposed. The weight you carried is being lifted, not because you figured it out, but because justice has found you. Type I receive heaven justice in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3030 is now activated over your name and your future. This was the knock, and you heard it. While others scrolled past it, slept through it, or ignored it, you paused. You listened. You discerned that something sacred was calling your name. You did not dismiss the stirrings. You did not mute the stillness. You opened your heart to the presence of Archangel Michael, and because of that response, heaven has recorded your name among the remnant who recognized the hour. Let this moment settle into your spirit with full weight. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not lost. You are aligned. Everything you have walked through, the fire, the silence, the betrayal, the confusion, the delay, was not in vain. It was a divine setup, a holy preparation. And now, because you remained faithful through it all, you are covered by light, guarded by Michael, and approved by heaven. The fire you endured has now marked you. The silence that once scared you has now shaped you. The battles you thought you barely survived were the very proving grounds that qualified you for this season. You are no longer being watched for failure. You are being celebrated for faithfulness. Heaven knows your name. The scrolls of glory carry your record. The voice of the Lord echoes over you even now, declaring, "This is my chosen one. This is my beloved. This one has heard my knock and opened the door." You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, not because you are perfect, but because you are positioned. No attack launched from hell can prosper because Michael has been assigned to enforce the verdict of victory over your life. The winds have shifted. The war has been won. And now, you walk into your inheritance not with striving but with certainty. Heaven is not quiet anymore. The silence has been broken. The door is open. The path is clear. The fire has fallen, and your feet have been anointed for the journey ahead. You are not who you were, and you are never going back. Rise now, not in fear, but in faith. Rise in light. Rise in power. Rise in purpose. The kingdom has called your name, and you have answered. Type "I am sealed by heaven" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 0007 is now active upon your life, your house, and your future. This word has been a holy knock, and if it stirred your spirit, don't let the moment pass without sowing into what you've just received. Your support doesn't simply fuel content. It fuels a global mission to awaken, equip, and release others just like you. Every seed, every offering, every act of generosity helps carry this fire into dark corners of the earth. God's word says He gives seed to the sower. That means what you give returns multiplied, refined, and sealed in heaven. As you bless this mission, you're becoming part of the very breakthrough you just received. You're helping knock on someone else's spiritual door. You can sow through Super Thanks, join us through membership, or give directly via PayPal. The link is in the video description below. Step into prophetic partnership right now. Give as led. Do with fire. Give into the word that just called your name. The heavens have opened, and your seed will not go unnoticed.